Okay, so good morning, everybody. I'd love to introduce you to my colleague, Tracey Hodkin. Tracey is an independent estate agent based in Letchworth. Good morning. I hope we're okay, that the thunderstorm doesn't affect us this morning.
Good morning, Louise. Nice and fresh with the weather.
Yeah, not quite so hot. So Tracey, trying to find a little bit about what you do and how you got to what you do. Originally, your background is in IT, is that right?
Yeah, I used to work in IT as an IT trainer and technical support analyst. I worked in London for about 8 years, and I worked as a technical author as well. So I used to kind of specialise in Microsoft products and worked in London, and then kind of went overseas. So I lived in the Cayman Islands for about 4 years. And then when we came back from Cayman, we started a family. And at that point, IT wasn't really feasible. So I started to look for something that would fit in with family life.
And is that how you then started to delve into the world of estate agency then?
Yeah, I always had a keen interest in property. So myself and my husband always bought properties that we could add value to and that we could renovate. So I kind of went off and did an interior design course and at North Herts College, and realised that property seemed to really interest me. And I was always kind of doing places up, and so I kind of decided, well, I'll give it a go and get a part-time job with an estate agent and see if I like it, see if that's what I want to do.
So you worked for a number of estate agencies and then decided just before lockdown, perfect time, to start your own company.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for the past 2 years. And then, to be honest, I just thought it's now or never. And I literally spent 8 weeks of lockdown when we couldn't actually go anywhere. So it was head down and 8 weeks setting up the company. So and it's something I've wanted to do and felt ready. And literally thought, well, if you don't do it now, it's now or never.
No. So you had plenty of time where obviously all of the viewings and things stopped completely, and then all of a sudden the markets opened up again. So viewings are now taking place, and people are starting to, especially first-time buyers, are starting to look at housing. So it's starting to get a bit busier, I take it.
It is, yeah. The market's pretty active at the moment. So as you say, we came out of lockdown, and then lots of sellers were waiting. So it was active and still is, and then obviously the stamp duty helped. So we've got lots of first-time buyers kind of coming onto the market.
Yeah, so that's a brilliant plus at the moment with houses. Is it houses up to 500,000 don't have to pay any stamp duty?
Yeah, absolutely. So which has a big impact. If you're a first-time buyer, that's great news, and it makes a massive impact. So the market is pretty busy at the moment.
That's really good. So what's the difference between an independent estate agent and I suppose a high street agent? What can you offer in terms of, I'm guessing a lot more personal service?
Yeah, I have the time to provide a bespoke personal service. So I'll only take on so many properties and focus on those properties. So, I'm not dealing with hundreds of properties where you've already moved on and, you're on to your next property. So I'll concentrate and focus. So yeah, it's about providing a personal service to the vendor and the buyer, and giving them that time.
Yeah, so you're available not just 9 to 5 like a high street. You're available, well, not 24/7, because you don't want people ringing you up at 11 o'clock at night, but basically you're far more flexible, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I am flexible, and I'm happy for them to phone me. So as you say, they can phone me 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night if they want to. So so the communication is really important. You know, it's that they can phone me, they can contact me. So it's a little bit more relaxed, and I'm always available.
Yeah. So what about, so somebody asks you to come round, and obviously you'll go and have a look, but there might be tips that, you know, when you live in your own house, you maybe don't see things that somebody coming in with a critical eye might see. So you can offer them almost like a consultancy, and to say, look, you know, maybe you need to paint this, or you need to tidy that.
Yeah, I'm happy to go in as a consultant, and you know, if there's a property that's sitting on the market and it's not moving, then maybe it's priced too high. If they're not getting the viewings or the interest, or as you say, maybe there's some small improvements that they need to make. So I'm happy to give that advice. And then there's lots of contractors that I know, so if they do need someone, if they need a painter and decorator, or if they need someone to clean the carpets, spruce the carpets up, so not major things, minor things that would help get the property moving.
Is it, I mean, I love watching all these, you know, buy, sell home properties, and is it a good thing to kind of declutter your home so it looks more spacious, you know, actually chuck stuff away or box them up, and, you know, really think about selling your house as a not a business, but, you know, you are living in it, but it's not the same as having all your clutter around if you're trying to sell.
Yeah, I think you do need to declutter, and you need to depersonalise. So when buyers are coming to view the property, they want to see that they can live in it. So they need to visualise that this is going to be their home, and this is where I can live. So it's about decluttering and maybe depersonalising, which is a little bit difficult, you know, or maybe something simple as fresh flowers on the dining table. So nice and tidy, nice and clean. So nothing major, just straightforward small improvements.
Maybe even a lick of paint or something.
Yeah.
What would you say is the kind of key thing in terms of visual from an outside point of view? Because that's your, you know, what sorts of things should people consider when purchasing? It's not just about the house, it's about where it is, the neighbours. I mean, should you go around at different times of day to see how busy the road is?
No, I think, as you say, it's about the location, it's about the price, and when you approach a property, as you say, it is very important. I recently had a property on, it was on with another agent, it wasn't selling. The vendor came to me, I managed to sell it within a week, and it was just very small improvements. So as you say, when you approach the property, it looked tired. So when a buyer sees the frontage, you know, they want to see that it's looked after and it's cared for. So and it was something as simple as you know, all the UPVC was a bit tired, a bit grey. So all it was a case of cleaning up the UPVC, little bit of painting, just so that the property then looked a little bit more cared for and looked after. So then we managed to generate lots of interest, because buyers will make their mind up within a couple of minutes of walking through the door. So so that's how long it takes, literally a couple of minutes, and then they probably know whether they want that property or not. So I'm quite happy to you know, to have a look, give advice, and small improvements.
Oh, okay. And just briefly, talking about price, you know, obviously we all want to be able to get as much money as we can selling our houses, but sometimes we need to be realistic. You know, if somebody puts an offer in 5,000 or even 10,000 below the asking price, what's the market like? You know, are people getting bang on what they ask or more, or how does that, I suppose it depends how desperate you are to sell your house, really.
I think at the moment there are certainly price reductions, so it probably you know, some vendors will want to test the market, but maybe it's not a time to test the market. So so there's certainly quite a few price reductions at the moment. So but you know, we agree maybe a price range, a guide price, and it's about what the vendor is comfortable with. So yeah, I mean, you put the property on the market, and the real test is if you don't get any viewings, if you have no interest, then that tells you it's priced too high. So so if a vendor wants to test the market, that's fine. But I always preempt that if it's very quiet, it's because it's gone on a little bit too high. So, and then maybe we need to bring it down a little bit. We need to tweak the price to generate that interest.
Right, okay. So you're based in Letchworth. So what areas do you cover? Is it how far out do you go, I suppose?
Yeah, it's a broad area, so North Hertfordshire, so Letchworth, Royston, Baldock, Hitchin, surrounding villages. A lady phoned me the other day and she's in Welwyn. So I think Welwyn, yeah, it is probably the furthest, but literally surrounding towns, surrounding villages, yeah.
Brilliant. So where's the best place for people to get hold of you, Tracey?
Basically, they can phone me on 07805 412 720, or they can go to the website, which is traceyhodkin.co.uk.
That's brilliant. Well, thank you for your time today. I'm glad we got through without any dodgy recordings because of the thunder.
Yeah, no, thank you, Louise. Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, if you need any advice on selling your property, Tracey is the lady to go to. So thank you for today.
Happy to help. Thank you, Louise.